Alright, so I'm just gonna get this transmission cleaned up before we put it back in. There's a lot of like clutch dust and debris, so I got like some brake cleaner and engine degreaser that I'm gonna use. Just get it cleaned up real quick before we throw in the new parts. Got this transmission cleaned up, and now I'm just gonna try to install this input shaft seal by removing those 4 bolts back there, pulling out that sleeve. So if you want to remove your input shaft seal to replace it, you gotta remove these 4 10mm bolts holding in the input shaft sleeve, and I'm just gonna do that right now. So you want to break them loose. Alright, so we just took our input shaft sleeve off, we marked it, so we know the position and put it back. And nothing appears to be leaking. It looks pretty solid. To remove the old seal, you kind of want to just take the hammer, and there's going to be two indentations on each side of the seal. There's like one right here and another right here. I don't know if you can see that. So there's 2 indentations that show where to poke in the screwdriver. You just don't want to go too deep. I kind of like marked mine a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. So I don't want to go down too far, so marked mine a little bit. And you just want to take your screwdriver and tap it in with your hammer, and you'll be able to pull the seal out. That went in pretty easily, and then you just want to kind of Alright guys, so after struggling with this input shaft seal for like an hour, I finally got it to budge out a little bit. So I'm gonna remove that and put in a new one. Alright guys, so we got our old seal out and it's time to install our new seal. So what you're gonna do is you wanna make sure that this spring ring is inside here, and then you want to just lubricate this inside a little bit with some transmission fluid. So grab some transmission fluid, use that to lubricate the inside of the seal. So we got the inside of our seal lubricated, and we're just gonna install now. All right, so we removed the tape, and now we're just gonna be sliding our input shaft seal onto the shaft, like so. We'll tape back up the shaft and get this seated in there. All right guys, so to get your new input shaft seal seated, you gotta use like a punch, but I'm just gonna be using the back of this hammer, and I'm just gonna drive it in slowly and evenly. Let me see if I can. And then we want to come up here? Yeah. It works. That's good. Okay, so we got our new input shaft seal installed, and I'm just gonna put the sleeve back on and torque the bolts down to like 10 foot-pounds. Alright guys, so now we're gonna replace our clutch pivot with the stainless steel one that we got, and our clutch spring. So you're just gonna take a flathead or something and tap it out from the back. A flathead and a hammer. Alright guys, so now we're going to be replacing the shifter shaft seal. Here's the new one. And to take the old one out, we're just going to try to pick it out with this tool. Alright, so we got out our old Selector rod seal using a flathead and this pick tool, and we're just going to install the new one using like a socket, like maybe like a 15 millimeter. Alright, so we just put transmission oil on our Selector rod seal, and I'm going to get it installed. I'm going to use the 15 millimeter socket to just drive it on straight. Just hanging this right here. Alright guys, so I'm just gonna be replacing this guide tube real quick. We bought a brand new one from FCP Euro. The old one doesn't have that much wear and tear, but out of preventative maintenance, we're just gonna go ahead and put a new one on. It wasn't too expensive and we're already in here, so we might as well replace it while we're here. So it's just 4 10 millimeter bolts. Alright, so pull the guide tube off carefully. Be sure not to like score. Try not to like score this part of the input shaft while you're taking it out. Let me real quick show you the difference between the old part and the new part. Like I said, there isn't too much wear on this, but you can see some wear on it. So, and that's just from the clutch fork riding back and forth on it. Our new part is right here, and there's no scoring on it at all. And I do have the orientation. I want to take this one off, so I'll kind of try to just match it up the same way. Part numbers on the side, so I could just do the same with the new part. pounds, and we're just gonna go ahead and tighten these up. We got our old one and our new one, and I'm just trying to figure out which one to use because I got a new double share selector, and the new one from Euro Parts doesn't seem to line up with it all that well, so the only option would be to shave it down or just use the OEM one. So I think I'm gonna use the OEM one and just put in a new foam and see how that works out. So let me just get this new foam installed. Make sure I get out any crust or whatever from the old one. That's the old Selector rod, or what's left of it, because it's like completely deteriorated in there after like fucking 20 years of shifting and shit. So this is legit what your Selector rod joint turns into after so many years of shifting. It just disintegrates. Shit's crazy. So crazy. I didn't even know shit was in here. So like, what the fuck? I really want to just put it in my body. Alright, so this is how it's supposed to look, and then I just gotta get this back installed on the transmission. Alright, I'm just wondering if, like, you see how that's poking out a little bit, like if the pin is gonna be able to slide in correctly, but it should be fine if I just compress it enough. We got that fully seated. And here's the pin and the clip. Alright guys, so to get your Selector rod joint installed, you just gotta have your foam already inside and slide this clip, like not fully on, but like almost on, so that when you drop this pin in, you'll be able to just slide this right over. So we got our rod joint, we got our pin, and we got our pin in place. Just gonna take this hammer and get it in get it like fully seated.
Not too much.
Alright, so we got our pin in. And already our selector rod joint is feeling a lot better. And then you just go ahead and slide this clip right over when you're done. Valid. It's installed. Super tight. Took away all the slop that was like in there. What's up? Back here in the garage, and real quick before I put the transmission back in, I'm gonna go ahead and put new fluid in there. So I'm gonna replace the old fluid with this E46 M3, and the drain plug is located right underneath right here, and your fill plug is gonna be right here. So if you're doing this inside your car, with the transmission still attached, you want to make sure you could loosen up this fill plug, because if you drain it and then this fill plug is stuck, you're fucked. So make sure your fill plug could come loose first, and then you could go underneath and drain your fluid. I got the drain plug cracked, and I'm gonna just unscrew it real quick and let the fluid drain. Transmission fluid is draining, and the fluid doesn't look all that bad. I'm not seeing any metal flakes in it or anything like that. Alright guys, so we got our old transmission fluid drained, and now I'm gonna just crack the fill plug. So we got the fill plug cracked, and now I'm just gonna throw in some new fluid. Real quick inspection, everything is going good. So I got the 75 W80 for the E46 M3, and I'm gonna just get it lined up. Let's see. Maybe leave this chilling.